What's up with you? How you
Nothing.
feeling?
I feel great. I played golf yesterday.
Yeah.
Uh, Frickin' had 8 3 putts.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, I shot in the 80. I shot like 87. I had 8 3 putts.
I went out and played like 9 holes like a week ago, and I was just like, the ball's not flying very far. Just
No,
yeah,
take another club.
it's a tough time of year to play golf.
Just got back pheasant hunting in Iowa for 4 days. It was awesome.
Yeah,
The,
how
uh,
was the
it,
visit
it
home?
was great. A lot of pheasants, a lot more than we've had in the last few years. We've got some. The weather was pretty good. Drank a few beers, had a good time in my hometown, and then worked our way down to Coralville and went pheasant hunting down there on Monday. So it was all good.
Did you get to see your high school wrestling coach?
No, he's not doing so good.
Oh no.
I checked around, and they said no, he's not. But I got to see Bill Nutting.
Oh yeah.
We met down in just south of Cedar Rapids in Ely at a place that he just got off work, so he brought a couple of his buddies with him, and the guys that we're hunting with were all there. So it was cool. It was awesome. It was a great trip.
Yeah, that's good. Did you get any? Like,
Yeah,
did
we got
you
5.
successful?
Yeah, we got 5. We should have had probably a few more, but saw a ton of hens, which is good.
Now, do you
So
bring those back and do you make those up for
yeah,
like
I some
Thanksgiving?
a couple of the guys took them. Yeah, yeah, they all. I'm just a guide, man. I just
Oh,
get them
okay.
spots. I mean, I shoot, but I try not. I shoot not very well. I don't carry it. I carry a sawed off 20 gauge,
Yeah,
like a stagecoach gun. So it's my dad's old gun.
yeah. So you're saying you're not too accurate on the hunting?
No, I don't give a crap. I want those guys to get birds. I've been hunting my whole life.
Oh, okay. You're
Yeah,
just the guide.
yeah.
Cool. Well, speaking of Iowa, how about those Hawkeyes?
Yeah. Right. I don't know.
What's your initial assessment? They wrestled Oregon State and
Yep.
Stanford.
Yeah. Well, the two guys that came to the and had beers with us, they went to the Stanford meet, and they
Okay.
said they're definitely not in wrestling shape yet, but they
Well,
will
some
be.
of them are.
Yeah. But they
That
said no.
the two transfers, well, the three transfers, I think look pretty darn good.
Yeah. I mean, that Gavin kid is good. Aiello, I was like, what the hell happened to him?
Well,
But
did you watch the match at all?
no, I was pheasant hunting.
Well, the match, if you watch the match, he wrestled really well. The other kid, um, it's hard to think of somebody that who he would remind me of, but he's really good at making um, a technical match become less technical. So he started to get into scrambles. They were in awkward positions. He once, at one time he had like a leg Turk that was kind of like locked up, so Ayala couldn't really move. It's just
Yeah.
like a goofy type of wrestling match. I would assume that if they wrestled again, he could do a better job of like keeping it from getting into those scramble type positions. But yeah, Ayala looked really good. He does this drag that is pretty effective. He's pretty good at it.
He
So
probably looks like a 33 pounder too, right?
yeah, I think
Yeah,
he's
he
he's
needs to
not
be up
he's
there.
definitely yeah he's definitely not undersized. But what I was surprised, I was more impressed with the transfers, Parco, Teamer, and that Buchanan kid. Um, they're really good.
They are. I don't know. I haven't seen him wrestle yet. I missed both the duels. So no, did I watch? No, I did watch Oregon State,
Yeah,
but there were people at my house and stuff, so I didn't get to watch it closely.
yeah.
Like
Well, think about that. Oregon State, like I think Oregon State has. Well, obviously they have some sort of potential, right? It's just they got to get some recruits and stuff out there, but um, they've benefited the last 2 years. Last year they had Penn State out, got whooped by them, but then this year they had Iowa out, got whooped by them, but they, put 5,000 people in the stands both
right.
times. So, that's pretty good.
I think Stanford's going to be a decent team too. They're going to have a few All Americans.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, they have they definitely, I mean, they're always pretty known to have that. Obviously, they lost the program a couple years ago and they got it back, but
Right.
um, they definitely have a couple. I mean, what about the duel between them and Iowa State? So first off, Iowa State doesn't put out a lineup.
Right.
Who are they going to put out they have to get. They're going to put out the lineup. That I think Evan Frost is wrestling in the NWCA All-Star Classic, so
Yep.
he's going to be in the lineup. Etchemendy is there. A couple others are there. Like it's going to be a pretty solid lineup. But when are they going to get it put into play?
I mean, like our heavyweight's out. He's had a concussion or whatever and stuff. So it's just I don't know. What do you think the heavyweights are thinking right now?
Yeah. So big news: Gable Stevenson returns. I'm thinking, that Wyatt Hendrickson. He's probably thinking, got a lot tougher this year.
Yeah.
And
I'm telling you what, I think Kirkliff will go toe to toe with him.
Oh, for sure. He's an amazing heavyweight.
He is.
Kirkfleet is.
He's big.
Yeah, I mean, I think all three of those guys are very solid, capable of. And even that Schultz, even though he lost, I mean, he's been wrestling with all those guys.
He shuts them down because he's a Greco guy, man. He knows how to stand his ground. And
but he lost this weekend. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah.
Yeah, but I was just hoping that Tony was going to get the comeback.
Right? I'm like, seriously? He's making money now, man. He's coaching. But we'll see with that Cooper kid, though. He's like on the border of being an All-American this year, and that could make a difference.
Yeah, they're definitely going to need him to be an All-American to give themselves a shot. I think he's good. I just, that heavyweight division, it's going to come down to a takedown at the end of the match to decide it. So
yeah, and it's same with that Iowa State kid that's back, the kid from Cuba. I mean, when he gets back in the lineup, I mean, he's always like in the medal, like in the blood round.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be another great heavyweight class.
Yes, it is. Well, our guest is here, ready to come on. So we're going to bring him on and
awesome.
Chat with them.
I can even take my hat off. It's nice out.
It is nice.
How's it going, guys?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Good.
So we're joined by Anthony Capriola, also known as Nino. Nino, that's what people call you, right?
Yes. Yep.
So you're from Winnebago. Just catch Marty up. So I know who you are. Marty is unfamiliar. So introduce yourself to Marty and the rest of the people watching.
I graduated from Winnebago in 2006. Came out and helped Danny out in Belvedere year after that, and kind of last 5 years now I've been helping out at another club, and this year we decided to kind of start one up in Winnebago and just kind of take a different direction to where we wanted to go with the kids club.
Yeah, so you guys started a youth program. I don't think have you guys ever had a youth program for the high school feeder program?
No, when I was younger, it was like a month leading up to the Capriola tournament in Winnebago, and that was it. You're kind of on your own after that. So
yeah, and was the Capriola tournament at the end of the season or before?
After the state tournament. So
yeah, I was gonna say I remember
second weekend in March, first or second weekend in March.
Yeah, and so there's never been a program. The high schools kind of had some good seasons individually, some solid seasons, but ultimately up and down. But obviously, we know that the success of a program, a community, kind of starts with the foundation. So you guys started up a kids program this year. What have you guys seen so far? Has it been a positive response? And how many guys do you have out?
We've got 42 kids out right now. 20 from kindergarten to second grade, and the other 22 are the older kids. And I say it's Winnebago, but we're not Winnebago Wrestling Club. We're open. We don't have a district. We'll take whoever wants to come in. It's not, I just want to make sure that's out there because Zach Foster, the other head coach, he coaches in Dupec. He coaches on their high school staff, and so it's open to the whole area. We had really good response. The new AD in Winnebago has pretty much been on board with whatever Joe Flynn's up for. yeah, let's do it. So
Yeah, that's great. So yeah, I mean, obviously, all the youth programs in the area kind of aren't like community based. Everybody can
yeah,
kind of go to whichever one, but obviously, proximity wise, if you're going to get people who haven't wrestled before, maybe they haven't had a parent in it, they haven't had a family member, you're oftentimes going to get somebody who's down the street, somebody who's looking for something to do for their
yeah,
kid and everything like that. So
absolutely. And Winnebago Park District has been phenomenal helping me get everything put together. So the whole Winnebago community has kind of been behind it. So
yeah. So how many guys do you have, like coaches? Do you have how many people kind of came out to support the kind of get involved?
we've got Daryl Anderson. He's got two older girls. One's a senior in high school this year that wrestles for the Dupec High School Club. And Evie and Sonny are wrestling for us this year. And Zach Foster, myself, and Justice West, the assistant coach for the high school, has been helping out. And I'm pulling on a couple other people trying to get them to hop in and help out too. So
Do they practice right at the high school?
yes, yep.
Awesome.
Yeah. So is that like where do you guys practice at the high school? I don't think I've ever.
Have you been up to the school? We're in the mezzanine behind the bleachers upstairs.
Okay, I do think I've been there up there before. Yeah, cool. So the season, I mean, so Dupec is. I didn't really know that Dupec had a team, but Dupec is Pecatonica and Durand together. So
Yep.
Durand's, they're one of the coaches is going to come on, I think Saturday or next Wednesday. So
Okay.
that should be fun to catch
Yeah.
up with him. Yeah, how big is the Marty? Do you know what's your insight as far as how big the wrestling scene is has been? How many people? Well, tell me about the school. Do you know much about how big Winnebago school is? I think I asked Joe Flynn this, but
I think enrollment's around 400, 450, somewhere around there.
okay. So there's a lot of these little smaller school programs in the area, huh?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, cool. Do you guys when do you guys have your first tournament?
We'll wrestle in Belvedere for their inaugural tournament they got going on out there this year. So
Are you associated with the IKWF?
absolutely, absolutely, yep.
Awesome. That's good.
Yeah, I don't know what else would you for competition wise. I don't know what else you would do for youth wrestling.
Yeah. That's about it. So
Yeah, there is, and that is an interesting thing, Marty. Don't you think? Like out of all the years, like obviously there's a variety of different opportunities competing wise. Obviously you can go national stuff, but there's really only
no,
one.
that's what I was joking with someone last year. I said USA Wrestling has done a very good job taking over. I don't know if it's been a good job overall, but they have done a good job taking over the scene. So
Well, I just don't think competition. I mean, I'm not a huge proponent on little kids competing all the time because it doesn't really
absolutely, yeah.
matter. But yeah, it seems like there's a good network of things that are happening. Keep people involved, keep people doing stuff to get them involved, so they stay involved, so that they get to the high school. Because obviously, that's the kind of the hard part. Is the goal is always trying to build the high school program, and you kind of reverse engineer it from how many kids can you get out when they're 6th, 7th, and 8 years old, and then they stick around, and as they stick around for a decade, then they have the abilities and skills that they can go and compete pretty well at the high school. So you got to start earlier because if you don't start this game, the sport is incredibly difficult. I was just trying to explain that to somebody about how, some people were talking about danger, how dangerous it could be, whether or not somebody could get hurt and stuff. And I said, what's interesting is most of the time it's more dangerous if people don't know how to do it because they're just kind of throwing people around and stuff like that. And once you kind of have like a little bit more control, but you have, high school kids, I've seen so many high school kids that didn't have much experience with the youth stuff. And they just struggle so much because they don't have the foundational stuff. So
that's statistically, wrestling is one of the safer sports out there. As far as injuries go, once you get going, statistically, it is one of the safer sports.
Yeah.
Insurance wise.
Yeah. Well, tell my neck that.
That's called aging.
Yeah. No, that's what I was listening to something today, and they said that something like 85 to 90% of kids will drop out of a sport and never do it again by the age of 11. So it's really just getting them to stick with the sport past that point and get them to make that little commitment. So.
Yeah. Well, what's some of your maybe a little bit of your philosophy that you guys are bringing to it? Is there anything different that you're trying to instill or try to accomplish?
With the younger kids, we've gone back and forth a little bit over the years about having them compete at all or having them just practice, not compete, and we're going to sign up for a couple of beginners tournaments this year with the younger kids because it seems like when we're not competing, we kind of lose them in the room. They don't have a goal. They don't have something that they're working towards. But the main thing is making it fun for them and making sure that they come around next year. I had one mom the other night that I think she was kind of upset that her son wasn't doing real well, and her son's 4 or 5 years old and wasn't paying attention, but he was having a lot of fun. And I told her after practice, I said, if he leaves here, doesn't learn a single wrestling move, but says, Mom, I had a lot of fun this year. I made 3 or 4 friends. I definitely want to do it next year. Then it's a win on the season for me. So,
Marty, you have any thoughts, advice for that? Like,
No, I'm just like you said, Dalton, I'm not the biggest believer either in kids, 2nd and 3rd grade wrestling every weekend. I think that's for 5th graders and above, if they want to do it. But a lot of times there's some parents force in there that kind of push them every weekend. But it's okay, like, just to go to a couple tournaments during the year. I mean, and just get a feel for it. Yeah, I mean, because it means nothing. It just means the whole goal of youth wrestling is to get them to move up the ladder and keep going and going. And you hope by the time they're freshmen in high school, you have 15 freshmen, right? For like Winnebago, you'd love to have 15 kids that have wrestled for 6 years. It'd be awesome.
Yeah.
But it's just, it's a challenge. You got to keep them around. And like you said, one of the biggest things they do is they make friends. And then you make friends with those kids, and then the parents make friends. So then you have a tight-knit group of people who travel around and go to wrestling meets and actually know the sport. So what you're doing is right.
Yeah, that's how I feel completely. I mean, I don't need the kids to get 7,500 matches over the year when they're in 2nd grade, Right. So my son was supposed to go out to Elbert tonight, but he's in 5th grade, and I've talked to Mom about it. I want to be this well-rounded athlete, so Mom signed him up for basketball. So he decided to go to basketball tonight instead of wrestling, and I kind of had to bite my tongue and I say, okay, have fun.
Yeah. I think. Yeah, I mean. Yeah, that's always there's always a tricky aspect of like how to decide. I think ultimately kids are the ones that are really good at making the decision, especially when it comes to like obsession. Nobody had to tell me. Nobody told me to be obsessed with getting really good. I just listened to, Hawkeye Marty. Caitlin Clark, the girls basketball player.
Yeah, me. Yeah, everybody does.
The Hawkeye. Yeah, but this is the Hawkeye. And she was talking about how she played other sports, but at one point, like basketball was the sport that she liked to practice at, and so all these other sports she just did for fun. But the sport that she really enjoyed practicing is the one that she stuck with. Obviously, was basketball, and that's kind of the thing. Is like the kid will figure out which one they want to get obsessed with, figuring out how to get better at, and they'll take that one from there. But
yeah, I'm a gigantic believer in multiple sports. I mean, I just think it's very important for kids and early on in their school career. And I mean, I just think even through high school, I mean, I was a 3-sport athlete. There was nothing else to do when I was a kid.
Yeah. I mean, and in these schools where enrollment's 400, 300 kids, I mean, you're not going to field the football team if your 157-pound wrestler isn't your running back or your receiver. And
right. for
Well,
sure.
I would advise people they should start thinking about playing golf, because if they play golf later in life, they want to actually be good at it. And,
I've given up on the game of golf. So
yeah, but did you play golf when you were a kid?
not
See, there
not in
you
the
go.
least.
And
Not in
there's
the
so
least.
many people out there playing golf, but they never picked up the club when they were a kid, and now they're more upset at
Yeah.
the game.
I strongly encourage contact sports. Even though my wife was a golf pro and retired golf pro, I love the sport, but contact sports are way more fun when you're young.
Yeah.
And I mean, it teaches you a lot of things in life.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
No, golf does not. Everything's got to be quiet. There can't be any big move.
I'll agree to disagree. I think you can rile some people up in that game. I'm sure if you said some not so nice things, Marianne might come at you with a golf club.
Yeah, she's not watching this podcast, but she'll watch it later this week. So I'll find out if she hits me sometime.
Yeah. Well, great. Is there any other thoughts that you have on the season? What you're excited about with the new venture you guys have out there? You know, we I think one of the main emphasis of doing the podcast and just trying to like cover the area is just to grow the sport really at the grassroots level, like get people to engage with it enough to take the time out of their day to start a program, to coach, or whatever it is. So yeah, like, what are you guys happy about, excited about, looking forward to?
Really, I'm looking forward to the season, but the big thing I'm looking forward to is after the season. You know, I want to get back with Nelson, maybe do another throwing camp and try to get some kids down to Rochelle for some freestyle Greco training. I'm really excited going forward because I feel like there's such a good group at our age with these kids clubs right now. I mean, between Nelson and Josh and Buddy and all these guys around that don't have the ego that say, hey, send my kids down here for a month to try this out, get our kids back. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm really excited about right now in the sport.
Yeah,
well, you got to have people that want to help, and like you said, and you got to have people that are welcome other people to come in, especially like when I was a coach in the off season, we welcomed anybody to come into school and work out, and it's how it's got to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think there are a lot of people that are energized and committed to kind of doing stuff in the area. So that's a positive. There's a lot of positive stuff going on in the national college wrestling scene. Marty and I were just talking, like, I keep trying to ask just to find out, but who are you rooting for? Do you watch college wrestling? And where's your fan base?
I was afraid you're going to ask this because I'm going to give the same answer a lot of other people did, that they really, really just enjoy watching it. And I'm excited to see what David Taylor's going to do. But if I had to pick one team, just because, I mean, Dalton, you were probably the same growing up. It was Iowa. It was always Iowa. I mean,
that's not a bad team to pick.
Yeah, I mean,
Marty and I were just talking about. I mean,
yeah,
they're. I was very impressed with their lineup so far. Their transfers are pretty damn good this year.
Yeah, they got a logjam in the middle, so we'll have to see how that turns out here in the next 2 or 3 weeks. With Brands and
Kennedy.
Yeah, Brands and Kennedy.
Yeah, it'll be tough to see.
And Arnold.
I
think Arnold's pretty well set his spot there.
Yeah,
he looked pretty good.
Yeah,
he looked pretty good. I definitely think I haven't seen Kennedy wrestle. I'm sure he's going to wrestle in one of these opens. But yeah, no.
I think he's wrestling this weekend when they wrestle with that new team that just came Division I, Bellamar.
Bellarmine.
Yeah. I think he's wrestling. I think he's in the lineup for that, which won't give you a great.
Yeah. But it will give you something. They're definitely going to play. I mean, Nelson Brands definitely looked like he was a little, I don't know if slow to get started into the match, like he kind of didn't have much urgency from the first whistle. But I think that will just wear off as he gets more matches, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you're an Iowa guy. I mean, I think it's okay to pick a new team each year. Right. Like, we talk about.
What?
And you can't just pick Penn State because
Yeah, I mean, why
I
not?
mean it's kind of a race for second now, isn't it?
I don't know. There's a lot of change. I mean, the
Yeah.
national tournament's going to get very dynamic because again, there's so many. It's just, I think, I did look at Penn State's lineup, Marty, and I definitely do think that they're a lot better than I actually thought. However, when you look at Levi Haynes in the same weight class as DJ Hamidi and Missouri guy, O'Toole, like, I mean, who knows what's going to happen there?
Right.
And that's an NCAA champion right there. Obviously, Gable coming back. Kirkfleet goes down. And
No.
with I mean, he might. You don't know. I'm just saying there's a lot of things that could happen. Drake Ayala could beat Braden Davis, the 33-pounder. And then, there's a lot of – I mean, Iowa, Parko, Teamer, and Buchanan, I think those three guys are going to be in the national finals if they avoid injuries. Those guys are special kids. But there's a lot of time to go on.
A lot of wrestling between now and then.
But I guess I was bringing up the point. Like, you ever gone to the NCAA tournament?
I have not. Me and the other guys have talked about it for years. I don't know. I'm up in the air trying to get into the Big Tens this year. So
okay, there's a good start. Big Tens are at Northwestern, so not too far away. I keep talking about going to the NCAA tournament because NCAA wrestling is the pinnacle of wrestling, right? We see, we to be honest, every time I coach kids, every time I'm working with people, I'm like, are you watching college wrestling? And if they say no, I'm like, you're crazy, dude. You have to watch what they're doing. They are the best folk style wrestlers in the country. And they're training at it at the highest level. Go watch them. So getting more fandom into the college scene is huge. And when I say, like, be a fan of a different team every time, when we go to the national tournament, or at least my memories of the national tournament, depending on the round, you would change your shirt basically and become a fan of a different team, knowing that they were going to kind of make a poll, right? Now, Marty, he says he's always an Iowa fan, but last year he bought an Oklahoma State sweatshirt.
I did, right, just because I felt bad for him.
But now you're going to bring that out.
It's exciting to see what David Taylor's going to get done down there in the next 2 to 3 years. So
yeah, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be great.
Yeah. There's a lot of parity that could come about from just that change. But awesome. Well, Anthony, thanks for jumping on, chatting with us, talking Winnebago wrestling. Good luck with the season, and good luck. If there's anything
great to meet you.
Let us know. Nice to meet you guys. Thank you guys.
Keep it rolling. Keep it rolling.
Thank you.
All right, Marty. What a day. All right, so that wraps it up. Had Winnebago wrestling coach. Should be good from every program needs a little.
Are you getting more responses from coaches?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We got a lot of people wanting to come on, chat about the programs. Again, I think people are messaging me about expanding our coverage, getting other coaches.
I just saw that today before I came on. I saw what we are covering.
Yeah,
that's quite a bit.
Yeah, that's why I said, that's why I did it, because I was like, okay, if I put a boundary on it, I won't get distracted. I'll just be like, okay, what's happening with these schools? Who are the coaches? Let's talk to these guys.
Right.
If I just put it everywhere, then I'm running around. I don't really know who to cover and stuff like that. So, no, I think we're going to have a lot of coaches on. Like I said, there's never been a concerted effort, I think, to network all these programs together and try to keep building the foundation, right? Wrestling needs to grow somehow, and could happen that way.
Nobody's ever, in my coaching career, nobody has ever contacted me and interviewed me like on a camera or anything. Like, this is totally different. But when I was a wrestling coach, like the news stations, they would cover stuff, but they would never interview like the coach of whatever, like conference or regionals. Yeah, these people actually get to talk about their program.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I think it'll be good. Hopefully they can just inspire and encourage other people to get involved. We
Right.
can, you know, make it known when people are doing the right things and doing great stuff. So
And seeing like those, I mean, that's what I grew up in. We're small. I mean, I just coming back from being in my hometown in West Union, just small towns. That's all it is. It's riddled with small towns.
yeah, and
I mean,
just thinking it's so difficult to build anything when you have a high school of 400 kids, and to try to build, you know, what is that, 10% of the high school into a wrestling team?
right.
Just
Yeah.
a very complicated component. And then obviously today, with technology, with all these different activities, people aren't necessarily living the same type of experience. It's even harder, I would assume, to get people to stay involved in wrestling for a long period of time. So
Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, back
all the
in
challenges.
when I was in high school, we had three stations on our TV.
Yeah.
We had, I mean, we just had like what are you gonna do? Are you gonna go home after school at 3:30 and do what? You're a
Yeah.
three sport. Everybody was a three sport athlete. It was just what sports they were out for, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like what the heck.
Yeah, man, but you're bringing up a good point. Like that is such a unique thing. Like to compare it to now, it's like you have an unlimited amount of stuff that you can do just on
Oh
your cell phone, right?
yeah,
Whether and so yeah, it's just a different time, and I think it's there's obviously pros and cons to everything. We're doing this right now. We're getting to communicate with people in a way that was a lot easier than it was back then, but at the same time it gives people the opportunity to avoid doing something as hard and difficult as wrestling, because why would I wrestle if I have all this other stuff? So
yeah. You know what my big thing was, like during wrestling season and stuff, I trapped. I was a trapper. Like I would trap muskrats and beavers and stuff. So I'd have to get up early in the morning, ride my motorcycle out, check all my traps before I went to work out. And then after wrestling practice, I'd have to ride back out on my motorcycle, go through the creeks and find all these, you know, and not get my hand snapped off in a trap. And I was like 15, 16 years old, and my parents didn't even care. I'm like, I was driving around without a driver's license. Nope,
yeah,
they didn't care. Like I'd be gone at 5 in the morning, and my parents would get up and they'd be like, "Don't you?" Thinking back as a parent, there's no way in hell I would have let my son go out at 5 in the morning and waddle around in a creek and look for, you know. But
yeah,
that's what interested me. I enjoyed that stuff, you know, and there's nothing else to do.
yeah, yeah. Wrestling was a good thing to be there for you. Marty, I did want to talk about this real quick, because you know we talked about this before, and we mentioned it, but we were talking about with Capriola, just about like how to get people to stay involved, or even get people out for wrestling. And I was having this conversation with somebody yesterday about the nature of wrestling with all the competitions and stuff can get chaotic. It can become like
Very
it's very chaotic. Where what I was trying to propose is this kid who where we were, he was just energetic. He was like, you know, super energetic. He wanted to do something. He wanted to run around, but he didn't go outside, you know. And I was like, this is what wrestling's for. It's for a young kid, this young boy, right, who's 7 years old, who has a ton of energy. It's like, all right, just go run. Just go run around and roll around and fight each other. And then by the end of that, you'll be tired. Right. And it's like, I wish we could do a better job of selling just the workout to young kids. Cause like, how
right.
valuable do you think how valuable do you think, or your experience from seeing kids come through over the years, like just getting them to go through a difficult workout and then letting them go home and, you know, not
Right.
have the chaos going on in their head.
Yeah, I mean it's extremely important. I used to, when I would help when I started the kids club, and then after high school practice, a lot of times I would stay back afterwards and just help out a little bit. And I always told the parents, "Well, you're welcome. You're welcome." They're like, "For what?" I go, "They'll sleep tonight." I said, "They will sleep. They will sleep." You know, and if you could just not put that pressure on them at an early age, and let them go in there and just have fun, and sometimes it looks like mass chaos, but if it's mass chaos, that means they're moving and they're doing something, because no matter what they do in that room, it's totally padded. Ours is. You're going to be bouncing and moving, and you're all of a sudden you're going to understand how your body moves. I mean, that's one of the biggest things in wrestling is understanding how your body is going to react to somebody attacking it. and what you're going to do and how comfortable you could be, like when you're on your hip or you're on your shoulder or whatever. And it's just, I mean, so much like, I think, I don't know if they do now, but back then we were warming up. We did gymnastics, cartwheels, round-offs, stuff like that, somersaults, backward somersaults into handstands. I mean, we did that stuff every day working out just to get used to having your feet above your head.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a hard thing for people to realize, but wrestlers spend a lot of time in awkward positions.
Yeah. It's definitely like, a tumbling workout with
It is.
With the technical aspect later. But when you're a kid, you don't really know the technical aspect. So I hope a lot of these programs are focusing on the tumbling, right?
Yeah.
Like sometimes I never know what they're doing for kids programs and stuff. But, my philosophy with kids, especially 10 years old and younger, it's like just get them running, rolling, and learning all the ninja skills. Let them become like a really good like ninja inside the wrestling room. Like you said, know how to walk on your hands, know how to be on your wrestling, running on your knees or falling and rolling and hopping up and hopping, whatever. It's incredibly beneficial. One, to just the energy aspect, but then two, that turns into knowing how your body works, how you communicate with your body. And in wrestling, that's all it is. It's if you know how the body works, it's how the game is.
Yeah, I used to tell kids in kids club, I'm like, I didn't put nails on the wall. I put pads on the wall. Bounce off the pads. Try to climb up them. I don't care. That's what it's made for. Yeah, wrestle through the pads. I mean, when you're wrestling in high school, don't worry about it. You're not going to get hurt. You're going to just bounce off a pad.
Yeah.
But, there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of knowledge that can be learned for just just like we've always talked about the confidence and stuff like that. I mean, it's just carries on into life too.
Yeah, I would agree. I think there's got to be a way to continue to try to emphasize that stuff over the chaos of going to weekend competitions.
Right.
Just because I just genuinely think in our society today, so many people could just benefit from the exercise. If my neck wasn't bothering me, I even when my neck's bothering me, I really love to grapple. Like it's just, I would do it. I'll do it my whole life, even if I can't fully do it. I'll just always like the feelings that I get from wrestling, getting a sweat in, and using my body. It's different than other activities. It's just
Oh, totally.
But
I mean, it's two people rolling around and not knowing what the other person is going to do. But then when you start to figure things out, you kind of realize what's coming up. You learn that, you hope you're a little bit ahead of him because that's how you're going to score your points. But yeah, that's a great thing.
Marty, this weekend when I was doing one of my lessons, the kid was like, "Why is it so hard to do this against you? Like, why can't I do?" I was like, "Because I'm a master, dude. Like, you can't just do." We were talking about hand fighting and keeping inside position and keeping guys off of their ties, right? So I'm in a hand fighting position. And he's frustrated, and I'm explaining to him how to do it. But through the process of explaining it, I'm, maintaining good position. And he couldn't stop it.
I mean, even when I after high school went to college, when I was wrestling, the first thing I noticed was like, oh my God, they're like punching me in the face. Yeah. Like it's like true hand fighting. But and then I felt like when I was a coach, that I took a lot of time spending time on hand fighting. And spinning and teaching them the right ways and the movements and the controlling. And every one of the guys that wrestled for me went to college are like, oh my God, Marty, the hand fighting just incredible.
Yeah.
You
guys did a good job always focusing on that being, just physical as opposed to overly technical, right? Like just being physical in the hand fight creates so much opportunity. We could have a whole nother podcast about what we think the most important areas of focus are.
Oh, it'd be awesome.
But yeah, we'll do that. We'll save that for next time. Marty, that's it for me. You got anything else?
I got nothing. I'll see you on Saturday.
We'll see you Saturday.
All right. See ya.